What's the YouTube? Dale here from Zephyr, and today we had the official influencer openings for Alliance Insight. Now, Alliance Insight sneak peek is next weekend, and then the official release of the product will be the Thursday after, which is like the first week of May. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm only going to go over the 10 secrets so that you are aware of the highest rarity cards within this set, obviously excluding quarter centuries, which will be all of the secrets plus all of the ultra rares. I thought it'd be an idea to kind of give you a breakdown of these secret rare cards, talk you through what they do, where the value may lie, and of course what the adaptation to the game will be when we do get this brand new set in just over a week and a half time. If you want to see all the other rarities, all the other openings, go and check out Konami's influencer page. That's when you'll be able to see all of the different rarities, commons, the super rares, ultra rares, you name it. But like I said, I want to focus this video just on the secret rares and then not take away anything from all of the influencers as well. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. We're going to start off with the Diabellstar Vengeance. So the artwork on this one is absolutely stunning, and it does continue the Diabellstar lore. This card is always treated as a sinful spoils card. You get to banish a spell and one trap from your hand and or graveyard to special summon this card from the hand or graveyard. Quick effect, pay half your life points to then target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. Then if another Diabell monster card is on the field, you get to special on one tuner synchro monster, illusion or spellcaster from your extra deck. You can only use each effect once per turn. Now to me, this card is incredibly insane in the Azamina's White Forest hybrids. It's such a cool card. It's a little bit awkward being a level 8, but that can then open up the door for stuff like going into Chaos Angel, which is really, really important as well, because it being a level 8 and your White Forest being level 2s, you do also have access to light monsters in that, and it is really, really important. As if you needed anything more, you do get to special summon out a tuner synchro monster, illusion or spellcaster, being the White Forest monsters, and that's then going to allow you to enhance your plays. You do have to pay half your life points to target a card your opponent controls, which is quite funny because technically if you wanted to, you could probably play this in Dynamorphia, and that'll just help you get to your end board a lot quicker. The next one that we're going to talk about, of course, is the Dragon Rulers. So we've got Kazma, the Dragon Ruler of Aurorus. So this is 2 level 7 dragons. It has a quick effect to send a level 7 Dragon Ruler monster from the deck to the graveyard and detach 1 material from this card. This effect becomes that sent monster's effect that discards itself to activate, which is really important because when you start looking at all the other Dragon Rulers, you're going to be able to search for days. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you get to special on a level 7 Dragon Ruler from the grave or banishment. So the benefit of this one as well is that the Dragon Rulers do have a couple of ultra rares, but also being able to only have one secret rare is quite important for this deck. And I don't mind when an extra deck monster is a secret rare, because more times than not, like sometimes you might have to play 3 of a extra deck monster, but you kind of get away with it being like a 1 to 2 of, which then just makes it a heck of a lot cheaper and easier to pick up. That being said, when you're looking at staple cards like SP Little Knight that will be played in pretty much every deck you can get your hands on, that's when the price will change a little bit. Speaking of a card, you're probably going to play it in a couple more decks than just its own. Of course, we do have the Allied Code Talker at Ignister. Now, the biggest meta influence that this card will have will, of course, be involved in Malice. And the benefit of something like this is it requires 3+ effect monsters as a Link 5, so it is semi-generic as well. If it is Link owned, you get to special summon as many Cyverse monsters with 2300 attack from the grave as possible to your zones this card points to. And if you do, this card gains 500 attack for each, so it can go up to a possible 38, is that right? Yeah, 15, so you'd go up to 3800. Also, you can't special summon for the rest of this turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you get a quick effect to tribute one of your Link monsters that this card points to, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. So the benefit of something like this is in Malice, it gives them like a Nibiru Protector, because as soon as you summon this, you should have 3 Cyverse monsters that you're going to be able to bring back, and you're good to rock and roll. If that wasn't enough, of course, you can utilize this in at Ignisters. You can utilize this in Code Talkers. It is very, very powerful, very, very good. Being a secret rare, it does kind of bump a price up a little bit. I know there are some pre-orders floating around, but this might change for the pure fact that, yes, it is a meta-relevant card, but it does have its niche appeal as to what decks can really play it and then get the most advantage from it. Next, we'll talk about the brand new archetype, the Regenesis. Now, the Regenesis actually have 2 secret rares from the set. I believe it is technically, unless you're going to count the Agnista as a Malice influence card, the archetype that has the most secret rares. On top of that as well is the Regenesis Archfiend. It's also the sneak peek promo that you can pick up for winning your tournaments at the weekend. So you get to special summon this card from the hand by revealing another monster with 2500 attack or defense in your hand. You can only special summon Regenesis Archfiend once per turn this way. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If it is normal or special, you can add a Regenesis card from the deck or banishment to your hand, except itself. During your opponent's end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you get to add this card to the hand. Now, the benefit of a card like this is with Regenesis Sage. Regenesis Sage is one of them ones that if it is normal or special, or this card is normal or special, you get to add the Regenesis Sage. The Regenesis Sage then allows itself to be special summoned down, and in turn, that will then open up the door for some protection. I might actually have Regenesis Sage down here. Yeah, here we go. So just so you can kind of complete what we're trying to go for here, is Regenesis Sage is if you control a monster with 2500 original attack or defense is on the field, you get to special summon this card from the hand. You can only special summon it once per turn. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you get to send one other Regenesis card from your hand or face up field to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So the benefit of something like that with your Archfiend is that Archfiend can search out your Sage, you can then summon down your Sage, and then you've got that Omni Negate in place. Continue on with the Regenesis. Of course, their other secret rare is just called Regenesis. So this one is you get to take a Regenesis monster from the deck and either add it to the hand or send it to the graveyard. So search out your Archfiend. Then if you control a Regenesis monster, you get to add one monster with 2500 attack and defense from the deck to the hand instead. If this card is in the graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you get to banish it and then target a Regenesis monster in the graveyard and special summon it. You can only use each effect once per turn. Now, obviously, there are other ways where the rest of the Regenesis cards you'll get a little bit more going for you, but just so you have an idea of what a very small Regenesis engine would be, is you could either play something like 3 Archfiends and 1 Sage, or of course you can just play 3 Regenesis, 1 Archfiend and 1 Sage. It really is up to you. I'm not saying it's a splashable engine that you're going to want to do, and I actually feel the Regenesis cards won't be hugely expensive, but it does just give you that option for, if you wanted to, play a level 7 option that will lead you to negates. So that is currently our 5th secret. Moving on to our 6th secret is the brand new Riseeal Riseeal. You get to special summon this card from the hand by detaching material from a monster you control. If summoned this way, you can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except rank 4 XYZ monsters. You can only special summon Riseeal once per turn, and if this card is special summoned, you get to set a Riseeal spell or trap from the deck. You can only use each effect once per turn. So obviously this is going to have synergy with the brand new Riseeal Mash Driver, but it also has synergy with the other Riseeal trap card that people sometimes were playing. Not that you couldn't get to it normally anyway, but at least with the Riseeal, you're going to get another level 4 extender, and then you're going to get the ability to search out a trap. I think it's like Plasma Hole, if I remember correctly. Then moving into what I would expect would possibly be the most expensive secret rare for now, and that is, of course, Malice P March Hare. Now, the reason this is going to be so expensive is it will take your Malice up a notch, especially when you consider the other Agnista cards and, of course, the Agnista Code Talker. That's when it's really going to start to shine. So your Malice P March Hare, your opponent cannot target Malice Elite monsters that point to this card with card effects. You can use each of the following effects once per turn. During the main phase, if this card is in the hand, you get a quick effect to banish one other Malice card from the hand or grave, and if you do, special summon this card. If this card is banished, you get to pay 300 life points to target one of your banished Malice monsters and add it back to the hand. So the benefit of something like that is not only will it allow you to regain resource, especially when you've got Rabbit and Dormouse down to 2, but it also gives you the ability for another Malice extender. It gives you another way of recycling your resource, and it is just very, very important. So when you're kind of putting a Malice deck together, when you need to consider you need probably 2 to 3 March Hare, you need 1 Agnista, and then you'll need stuff like your Agnistas, the Ultra Rares as well. That's when the cost can start to creep up on you. Moving on to the 7th secret rare. So the 7th secret rare is Songs of the Dominators. Now, I love this as it is part of the Dominus lineup. So you've got Dominus Purge and Dominus Pulse. The only issue is this one really kind of makes Pulse and Purge into their own element. So if you have no monsters in your graveyard, you get to activate this card from the hand. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, negate that effect. Then if you have a trap card in your graveyard, you get to add a Dominus card from the deck to your hand. If you activate this card from the hand, you cannot activate the effects of monsters in your hand, grave, and banishment until the end of the next turn. You can only activate 1 Songs of the Dominators per turn. So obviously it's quite nice because what you'd ideally do is you activate something like a Infinite Impermanence, activate your Songs of the Dominus. So Imperm would negate the first monster effect. Songs of the Dominus would then negate the next one. And then because you have infinite impermanence, you then get to add a Dominus Purge or a Dominus Pulse. In turn of that, you'd then be able to activate those to either negate a special summon or stop a special summon or negate a search effect and then destroy it because you'll have a trap card in the grave. The big drawback is that you can't activate the effects of monsters in the hand, grave, or banishment until the end of the next turn, which can be a little bit restrictive considering that means it shuts off all of your other monster hand traps. It means you can't really activate your monster hand traps before you activate this card as well. So it does kind of lend itself more to a stun-esque deck, which just constantly keeps stopping your opponent, which I don't mind in that sense because I do like Purge and Pulse. I like what they do, and the fact that they restrict specific elements does mean, or attributes, does make them less splashable, because can you imagine if Pulse and Purge didn't have those attribute requirements? It'd be absolutely insane. Now onto our penultimate secret rare. So the penultimate secret rare is Gordian Slicer. I quite like this. I feel the cost can be slightly high, but I do also really want to try this out in a Gren Manju deck. So this card's activation and effects cannot be negated, which is amazing. At the start of main phase 1 or 2, target any number of face-up cards on the field. For each targeted card, banish 1 card from your hand or 6 from your extra deck. Face down and then return those targeted cards to the hand. Now, what I like about this is it can't be responded to, or technically its activation and effects can't be negated, which is quite important. But then also being able to trade your hand off a little bit. Obviously, by the time you activate this, out of your 6 cards, you activate this, you banish 2. You're down to 3 cards to try and build a field. But if you're able to return 2 cards that might be floodgates, they might be stuff like Riseeals, that's really when you can put your opponent at a bit of a disadvantage. And even then, you don't need to banish from the hand. You would just need to banish 6 from your extra deck. So it looks like it's selected. So it's not like random from your extra deck. You choose 6 to banish, which can be quite useful. You don't really want to be banishing 12 from your extra deck, but I could see a lot of people probably banishing 1 from the hand and then 6 from the extra deck and then dealing with 2 monsters. And the fact it returns them to the hand, obviously pre-ban list, this would have been a great way to out-detonator. But then on top of that, the fact that they could still respond to it does make it a little bit difficult. And I believe you target any number of face-up cards on the field for each targeted card. So even if that first target leaves, I believe you still have to banish your card. So it's like a semi-cost in a sense. And then the final secret rare, unfortunately, is Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, which obviously works with Shining Sarcophagus. So you can special summon this card from the hand by discarding 1 card, and if you do, this card's name becomes Dark Magician Girl. You can only special summon Dark Magician Girl, the Magician's Apprentice, once per turn this way. If it is normal or special, you get to add a Shining Sarcophagus, specifically, from the deck to the hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, and you gain 300 attack for each monster that mentions Shining Sarcophagus in the graveyard. So the idea is it just gives Shining Sarcophagus another card that can get direct access to Shining Sarcophagus, as we all know if you have played the Shining Sarcophagus archetype, how important that card is. Now, I'm not sure if you would play 3 of this or not, but the fact of the matter is it can discard itself. So if you do open up 2 copies of it, you go, okay, that's fine. Discard the other one, summon this one down. And it basically means that the reliance on the Platinum Gadget is a lot less now, because you normally normal summon the Platinum Gadget, they would stop it and then you'd be like, right, well, I really hope that I've hard opened up access to the Shining Sarcophagus. Whereas the Dark Magician Girl kind of gives you that ability to go, okay, well, you've baited out an interaction on the Platinum Gadget, or you haven't seen the Platinum Gadget, I have seen the Dark Magician Girl, and you kind of go from there. So it's a really kind of nice secret for the Shining Sarcophagus. And when you look over the 10 secrets that we have had revealed, what you need to kind of take into account is that the Magician's Apprentice is specifically for Shining Sarcophagus. I can't imagine other decks you're going to want to splice it into. When you look at the Songs of the Dominators, again, a very specific deck is going to play this. So there's going to be less usability for it in a like splashable element. The Gordian Slicer, I feel, could be a really, really good card, and all it's going to take is one person to have this in their side deck or even have this in their main deck and do well at a big event, and this card will spike. So if this card is relatively cheap on pickup, and you probably pick up like one for like £10, I think it's probably worth having a playset of this card. I don't think it would be a bad option to have around. Malice March Hare, I feel that is probably the top meta card right now, specifically for Malice, and we do expect that Malice will be the top meta contender post-Alliance Insight. I know there's been a lot of hype online for it, so it's definitely one you want to be watching out for, which is why I feel this could demand the most expensive price on pre-release. Now, keep in mind that the day that I'm putting this video out is the day the influencer videos have officially dropped, and then I do expect there'll start to be some pre-order prices going up. So these are just my personal ideas of what I feel the prices could be before they actually do drop. But when they do, I think you could be looking at anywhere from £40 to £50 for the Malice March Hare. If you can get it for less than that and play like a playset for 100 and you want to be playing Malice, it could be worth doing. The Star Riseeal is a bit of an interesting one. I don't think it's as good as the March Hare, but I still think it's a good addition to the Riseeal strategy. I feel a lot of people have jumped ship from the Riseeals and started moving over to Malice. So I do feel that you can pick up a Riseeal core a lot cheaper. And I feel ultimately, as time goes on, unless this card gets abused in the right ways, this could very easily become like a £10 secret and relatively cheap and easy to pick up. So it depends on how much you value your Riseeal involvement to. But again, this card is only really going to be used in a Riseeal strategy, so it's kind of narrowed down the decks it's going to be played in. Then when we look at the Regenesis are a kind of a cool new archetype. They haven't really proven anything as of yet. I don't think they're going to be dominating metas. I feel that, again, this could be one of the ones where the secrets might start off a little bit expensive, but could very easily drop to about £10 a secret. Not to consider as well that the Regenesis Archfiend is also the sneak peek promo. She'll be able to get it one of two options. And I can't think of any sneak peek promo, apart from stuff like Crimson Dragon, that spiked later on, that on release are crazy, crazy expensive. So again, I don't feel that these are going to be that high in value. Your Alloyed Code Talker at Ignister. Now, it's always interesting when you're looking at cards like this, it's definitely one of them meta chasers for Malice, but then once Malice have got hold of this card, they're not going to want 2s and 3s of it. They're going to be quite happy with 1 of it at the moment in time. It's not quite on the level of something like SP Little Knight, where it's going to get played in pretty much 99% of the decks around. So I don't think it's going to be hitting those peak prices of £50 and stay there consistently. I do feel it's one of the ones that once you've got access to it, it will probably drop to about the £30 mark. Then we're looking at the Dragon Ruler. I feel the Dragon Ruler, again, is very specific. It requires 2 level 7 dragons. It kind of dictates itself to only be played in Dragon Rulers. So where you're going to get the most value out of the back of this is if the person that wants it is a dedicated Dragon Ruler player from back in the day. They'll want to be picking up the new support. But I also feel that this could very easily drop to like a £10 to £15 card once time has gone by a little bit, because it is going to be Dragon Ruler specific. It's not generic. It's not splashable in any way whatsoever. So yeah, that's kind of where I see it falling. The Diabellstar Vengeance, I think this is probably like one of the better cards, but I also feel that this has the same treatment as the Malice card. And what I mean by that is it kind of really wants to be utilized mainly in a White Forest-esque Azamina Sinful Spoil style deck. So it doesn't want to be splashed in anything. It does have a bit more flexibility to be splashed in more things than normal, but I also feel that this one could very easily sit between the £30 to £40 mark. Quite like Malice P. Hare, it's something you could look at either getting 1 or going all the way up to 3 copies of it, which is where the price starts to get dictated a little bit more, because at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to supply and demand. If you only demand 1 copy of a particular card, then the demand out there is going to be a lot less because there'll be more supply. If you're going to be asking for 3 of a particular card, then it means rather than asking for 1 of it, you're asking for 3 times the amount of it. It means the demand's going to be a lot higher, and then the supply is going to be a little bit less when you're trying to compare it to the one-offs. So that's pretty much it of the entire video, to talking you through the 10 secret rares. Hopefully we'll start to see some of the pre-order prices drop sooner rather than later, and you kind of have a bit more of an idea of where people are looking at, the type of price ranges for this. Keep in mind the Alliance Insight sneak peek event is technically still a week away, and then a half week on top of that, so a week and a half away, will be when the official set releases. And this is kind of be the set that we have available to us leading up to Nationals. The week of Nationals is when the brand new Battles of Legend comes out, and that's probably when the format will shift again, because that will introduce us to Dragon Maids and of course Orca support as well. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. Let me know what card you are excited about the most from Alliance Insight. I know there's quite a few that appeal to me. I definitely want to be able to get the Diabell for my White Forest. I would love to definitely keep an eye out on this Gordian Slicer, as I feel this could be one of those ones that will either be hugely valuable or very low and worth picking up at a cheap price. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.